Well, very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck December live stream. Today it's the 24th of February 2022, 3 minutes past 4 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom. We're back in Microsoft Flight Simulator, taking the PMDG DC6 for a spin. We're in the capital of Holland. We're in Schiphol, and we're going to be flying to London Heathrow. The reason is iniBuilds have just released, or iniScene I should say, their variant of London Heathrow on Microsoft Flight Simulator, obviously one of the most complex airports in the world. And upon that release, they said, "Oh, would you like a copy of Flight Deck Sim?" I said, "Oh, yes, please." "Oh, also, would you like 2 copies to give away to your followers?" I said, "Absolutely." So, massive thank you to iniBuilds, who have sent me not only me a copy, but 2 copies to give away as well. And we'll be flying in the excellent PMDG DC6 from Schiphol. Flight time around 1 hour and 20 minutes. We're live time, live weather. It should be a lovely sunset approach into Heathrow today. Offline, just so I can have a little bit of fun today, doing some conventional navigation. We're going to have no GPS, we're going to be following VORs, and we're going to be flying, sort of like modifying one of the RNAV arrivals into Heathrow, and then the conventional transition onto the ILS, so it should be really good fun. Looking forward to it as well. Now, obviously, a lot going on in the world today with regards to Russia's invasion of Ukraine. My request is today, can we try and avoid conversation associated with that? We're obviously all very appalled with what's going on. My thoughts and prayers for everyone in that country and the surrounding area as well. It is one of the reasons I've turned on subscriber mode only today, because it happens that you might get some weird aim bots, or not aim bots, what's the word? Some chat bots and all sorts of things going on there. All I ask is that we get everything respectful, as I'd always expect from all of the viewers who ever always come in to watch the videos. Awesome, but anyway, here is the PMDG DC6. It's the latest public version, 2.0.37. Did a test sector this morning. Seems to be all working exactly how I'd expect it to. It's going to be quite interesting getting out of Amsterdam. We're live weather at the moment, 35, 40 knot winds, but thankfully down the runway, departing off runway 24. We're going to be probably IMC the whole way. So yeah, as I said, no GPS today. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. God, you always forget this sim. Look at the paintwork and the reflections of the clouds. It's absolutely stunning in this thing. Did I said aimbot? I said aimbot. I know it's because I was playing Xbox with my friends yesterday, and they always accuse me of having an aimbot whenever I kill someone, so which I don't have. I wouldn't even know how to install it. You guys know I use this with PC, but I meant chatbot. But here we are in the Flying Dutchman anyway, looking very nice. Who do we have in chat today anyway? John Padfield, who goes, hello to you. De Villengend Hollander, awesome. Is that Dutch for the Flying Dutchman, I guess? I don't know my Dutch very well. Hello Matt Warren, hi Flight Decks, have a lovely flight today, thank you very much. Hello Spike Flies, it says, what an oldie, absolutely. Hello Shuey, hope you're doing well. Edo's here. Lizard Doggo, hello from Eastern US, very good morning to you, sir. He's catching during my lunch break, trying to not miss a stream. Well, thank you very much for popping in here during your break, appreciate it, buddy. Salmon, Dodo, Mosina, Dealey, Yarrow Slabs here, Boeing Boy, Rika de Rince, Finley, Timothy Waters, Gareth Hanley, Eddie Mambo, Captain Timothy, D Aviation here as well. Nicholas0102, and exactly as I was saying, Nicholas, thank you very much for also highlighting exactly what I wanted to say there too. Excellent. So, all about aimbots in chat. Let's pop it into the cockpit. It's been a very long time since we've flown this aircraft. There we are, and you'll notice all the lovely exterior model. Oh, look at that. As professional as ever. Well, I can just press that button and then that one to end back up in the cockpit. Cool, so yeah, I was just actually looking before the stream. Look at this. The airspeed indicator is already showing about 25-30 knots. We're actually pointing into the direction of our takeoff runway, runway 24 here. A little bit about our sector then, before I get the AFE into action to get the aircraft set up. Let me bring up Navigraph for you. So here we are in Amsterdam. We're going to be flying initially southwestbound. Now, unfortunately, out of Schiphol, they're all RNAV SIDs, which in an aircraft like this with no GPS, it's quite difficult to fly. Let's just say it's impossible. So one of the reasons I'm not on VATSIM today, all of these are RNAV SIDs. So what I've sort of done is just adjust the routing slightly to intercept an airway via Rotterdam, and what we're going to do is sort of like an omnidirectional departure. So if I bring up the airport chart, here is obviously Schiphol and its hugeness. We're taking off runway 24, which is the wind straight down the runway here, so quite a short taxi for us, taking off from runway 24. Then once we get airborne, We are simply going to get to 1,000 feet. That will take us to about here, and then we're going to make a left turn direct to the Rotterdam VOR, sort of like an omnidirectional departure. And then once we're at Rotterdam, I'm going to be routing direct to Abned. Now, the radial that this is, I've just based it off the operational flight plan. So if I bring up the flight plan as well, so you can see it. There we go. So initial turn track is going to be 206, so we're going to take off at intercept 206 radial, or sorry, the reciprocal of that, we'll just call it 025. The 025 radial inbound to Rotterdam. Then once we're outbound from Rotterdam, we're going to go outbound on the 263 radial towards Abned. And once we get to Abned, let me just bring up Navigraph again. Oops, no, I don't want to print that. Thank you very much. Once we get to Abned, we'll intercept this airway here, the Lima 980 airway, which actually takes us all the way inbound towards Lambourne, and then we're going to fly the conventional. There is actually a conventional transitional to ILS 27 left, which is what we're going to be flying today. So that's a little bit about the routing. Bring up the flight plan again. Let me just get that open for myself. There we go. So we're going to take a full load of passengers. So if I go down here, you'll see I've already preloaded everything. So fuel-wise, I'm going to take 10,000 pounds of fuel. Don't know why they can't convert it to kilos for us Europeans, but it's only in pounds. But divided by 2.2 is how many tons you need. Our flight plan, we need 2.4 tons. 10,000 pounds is enough for pretty much a round trip, so that's plenty for us. It's about 25% of the total capacity. Full load of passengers, looks 68 passengers we're going to take, and that's it. It's already preloaded as well, and I'll get the
50,
AFE
40, 30,
to do the pre-departure flight,
20,
which takes us all the way to
10.
engine start. Thank you very much, Yannick. That's very generous. Thank you indeed for the 20 euros.
Hey Captain,
Hello.
have a good flight today. Thanks for your great work for all the years. The next airport snack is on me, smiley face.
Oh, Yannick, that's a snack and a half. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. 20 euros. That's very generous. That's my whole food for the day. Really appreciate the generosity. Thank you very much for your continued support. You're probably from Holland, I guess, with a name like that. Thank you very much indeed for your gesture there, kind donation. Thank you. Listen, it's so cool to see how this is going to be flying without the GPS. I know we're going to be. Look, I've already selected just the Benedict's radio tuning panel, so we'll be selecting the nav aids. Something a bit different, isn't it? And we'll be just using the OBS to navigate all the way to Heathrow, hopefully to the runway with no problems. Very cool. Astrid, just be aware, the DC6 SB profile, Simbury profile, gives less fuel than you generally go for 20 plus 25%. That should do for us then, Astrodew, because if you look again at our flight plan, it's 2.4 tons. So what's that in pounds? Just times it by 2.2. Well, 2 times 2.2. It's about 5,000 pounds of fuel we need. So we're taking 10,000 pounds. So we're taking twice as much as we need. So it should definitely be enough. But yeah, I didn't realise actually that the Simbury profile was that far off there. Finley, thank you very much for the 32 months as a member. He already has a Alpaca Pilot badge. He's also just used his monthly membership comment to post a picture of an alpaca. Cheers, Finley. Hope you're doing well. Any questions I said throughout your flight training, please feel free to ask as well. It's been great helping you answer those questions. Kilos, you're an Englishman. Pounds all the way. Unbelievable, Mark. Astrid, yes, that's going to be more than enough fuel. Perfect. So, as I mentioned, look, live time, live weather, just past 10 past 5 local time in Holland. It'll probably be just past sunset before we land. Let's do the before start AFE, artificial flight engineer flow. Let's do that. And this is one of the great things about this aircraft. I believe PMDG are very much under the mindfulness in an aircraft like this is, look, we want you to fly it. That's why we have this virtual flight engineer for you to configure the aircraft and the switches. Of course, you don't need to use it, but for me certainly, because I don't fly this aircraft that often, it's very helpful.
Fuel and fluids. Checked. Pressurization.
So, pressurization, that reminds me, I need to set that manually. So we're going to be climbing at flight level 120 today.
Radios.
So I actually want the flight up to 120. Cabin altitude will just set to about 5,000 feet. Thanks a lot, guys.
approaching minimum.
There we go, so that's all set. Liam, 29 months as a member. Finley has been a member for so long, he suits his granddad's slippers. That's gonna annoy him. I'm wearing granddad's slippers, Liam, so I can't complain. Thank you so much for the continued support, buddy. Nico5, 22 months as a member as well. Can you make sure you have enough cheese on board for all the Dutch passengers? Unbelievable. Well, I like cheese. What would be a typical cheese that a Dutchman would eat? I wouldn't know. Thanks, Nick.
Adjusted. Throttles.
So he's doing all his
Set to idle.
things.
Propellers. Forward and 3.
The South African first officer. I think you do have to take the gust lock off manually.
Before start checks complete. Start engines.
Excellent. How do I take the gust lock off? I think, do I have to... there we go. It's a bit delayed. Please someone tell me in chat right away, is there a fix for this mouse cursor bug? Because after months and months and months, I still get the disappearing mouse cursor unless I go outside and inside, and that makes my mouse cursor appear. It's extremely frustrating to have that. I just, the camera system Microsoft Flight Simulator is just, I get how it works with the arrow keys and the dot and the comma, but it's just a bit unnatural for me still. Right, so if I remember rightly, starting the engines, I have got the expert engine start sequence on here required, but I think the AFE does it for you. Engine number 3 first, so auto rich. I think we've got the ignition to both, so we've got fuel, we've got a spark, we've got a boost pump on low, and I believe, if I remember rightly, we put the engine start switch and safety together, but it does it automatically. And then at 12, we boost and then prime, and it should start the engine. Well, it worked earlier. Oh, Pag, what is the Volocopter? Yes, sorry, guys. Before I start the engines, I forgot to mention, after we've landed in London Heathrow, I'm going to be doing the first giveaway for the scenery. I'm then going to jump into the Microsoft Flight Simulator default Volocopter, where any of you can join me, and we're going to explore the iniBuilds scenery in a bit more detail. Now, I don't operate out of Heathrow, but I have flown out of Heathrow dozens of times as a passenger, so I installed it yesterday and had a look around. There's a lot there, a lot of it based on the real airports. We're talking about how it's been optimised as well, just part of, because iniBuilds sent me this scenery for free, they want me to preview it, so that is what we shall do. So Volocopter is an electric helicopter available on Microsoft Flight Simulator. It's the perfect aircraft to explore scenery with. Right, let's do it. Let's start engine number 3, so let's put the starter and safety switch on.
3.
You can hear the prop whirling in the background.
6, 9, 12.
So boost prime. You're in business. Excellent. I have the sounds turned down a little bit on Microsoft Flight Simulator, but there is engine number 3 whirling away. I'm going to do a reverse push off this stand. Even worse is the right-click flight control lock. Oh yeah, so yeah, if you still do that, look around, it locks the controls. They still haven't fixed that, or made it work. But yes. Sounds like we've got to go start on engine number 3. Next engine is number 4, so let me try and remember the sequence here. So mixture, engine number 4 to auto-rich. We need a spark, so let's get some electricity. On engine number 4, we also need to select the engine selected engine number 4 and the fuel boost pump to low. Let's start engine number 4.
3, 6, 9, 12.
Boost prime. There we are. So you can see on engine number 3, which we started first, the oil pressure's already increased. There's engine number 4. I think these lights just mean low oil pressure, but that's common when the engine's been cold. It's going to be quite thick, I guess. Who knows? I have no knowledge on operating aircraft like this. It's extremely difficult. It really is a 3-crew aircraft. Right, starting engine number 4 is complete. Starting now engine number 2. So rich. To both. Engine start, selected number 2. Low. Starting engine number 2.
3, 6,
So cool.
9, 12.
Boost prime. We'll try and watch engine number 1 start at least. Beautiful. Excellent. I think make it auto. In reality, I'm guessing the engineer or one of the pilots is holding down start and safety, and then the booster prime, does that pop off automatically, or are they held in place? As you know, with the aircraft. Right, starting engine number 1. Mixture. 1 low. Excellent. Starting engine number 1.
3, 6,
So cool.
9, 12.
Oh, did I start prematurely there? I forgot you can actually open the window on this, can't you? Ah. That's better. Love it. Hello, Fly Harry. Henry, sorry. Hello, mate. Excited for the stream. Thank you very much for popping in here. Afternoon, folks. Hope you're doing well. Matt Burgess. Perfect time. We just started our 4 engines. Should better shut that up because it's going to get very loud. How do I... Shut... No. Ooh. Uh-oh. There we are. That sounds like it's locked. Right, 4 good starts. Let's now do the after start flow.
Start selected boost pumps. Off and off. Battery switch. Plane battery. Generators and batteries.
That's me.
Checked and on. Emergency lights. Armed. Ground power. Removed. After start checks complete.
Excellent. So, after start check is complete, we have this fantastic engine stress visualizer. Many reds. So oil pressure, well, I think that's obviously needs to get up to temperature. Oil temperature is going to be catastrophic stress range at the moment. Hopefully that'll warm up soon. We won't want to be taking off with anything in the catastrophic stress range, so hopefully that will warm up. And I think just before the start of this stream, I repaired all the engines, fully serviced the propellers, topped up the oil, and 3.2 hours testing it prior to today as well. Hopefully no problems then. We don't seem to have any lights warnings or anything like that. I think I had the RPM a little bit too high. There we are. Right, so let's reverse off stand. We're going to put the props in reverse and release the parking brake. Increase the power slightly. And we're backing out of stand. This, I believe, was actually an approved method. I think we're roughly pointing in the right direction. Right, let's have a look at our taxi. So, pop up navigaph here. We've just pushed back off stand Bravo 92. So we are just here. And we're going to make a left turn onto taxiway Bravo. We'll take the second left and we're going to go to hold point Sierra 7 for runway 24. So, that's now turned off. We'll release the brakes. Lighting. I think I need blinding lights here. Do I have a taxi light? Do I have to? I think I have to hold these on extend, but I'll turn those on just to increase visibility. And let's go to runway 24. Can't remember if that's set or released now. Released. There we go. Don't need more power than that. When we get to the whole point, we'll just rebrief the departure. I've got all my notes from when I last flew with DC6 with regards to the climb profile. It's based off the included tutorial. And don't forget, I am offline now. I'm not on VATSIM or the Microsoft Flight Sim servers at the moment. I'm on offline mode. And when we get to Heathrow, I'll pop online for the little Volocopter tour thing. Join me in the crazy little electric helicopter. Right, now on the parallel taxiway for runway 24, we'll complete the before takeoff checklist. So AFE, before takeoff.
Boost pumps. Boost pumps on low. Fuel selector and crossfeed. Main tanks and crossfeed off.
Live weather's on, yes. Everything is live. Live time, live weather. Up to cat.
Off and cold. Hydraulic system. Down, forward, pressure and quantity checked. Okay. Flaps 20.
So he even extends the flaps for you. There's the flap position indicator. Do a dry takeoff. We're not very heavy today, so don't have a huge amount of fuel.
Windows and turbine.
Is your window still open? No, it should be shut.
Closed and on. Controls. Gust lock released. Free. Detonator.
Here's Sierra 7.
On. Mixture and cowl flaps.
Squeaky old brakes.
Mixture locked. Set. Transponder. On.
Did I hear thunder? No.
Landing lights.
There's no hold short line on this scenery, so I'll just hold it here.
Extended and on. Before takeoff checks complete.
That was good timing. Right before takeoff check is complete. So let's talk a little bit about the departure. So again, bring up Navigraph. Remember, there's no SID I'm following here. I do actually need to set up my nav aid. I completely forgot to do that. So as I mentioned, we're going to climb runway heading to 1,000 feet. Then we're going to make a left turn direct to the Rotterdam VOR. So there's the frequency, 110.4. We'll make that active now on both box 1 and 2. So 110.4. 110.4. If I look at the flight plan, the operational flight plan says the radial want to intercept to go direct to Rotterdam is the 025 radial, I believe. So yeah, we're going to go inbound 205. So what I need to do is go down here. We'll set the OBS course selected to 205. Let me just get my mouse cursor back. 205. This RMI is based off the VOR, so the needle will point directly to Rotterdam as soon as we get airborne within range. And this RMI is based off ADF, which we won't be using today. So we're going to take off the same takeoff profile I used last time whenever I flew it. We're going to set takeoff power using the AFE. We'll rotate at 100 knots. We'll then pitch to allow the aircraft to accelerate to 130, and then want to be doing 140 knots by 500 feet. He'll then raise the gear, retract the flaps, and we're going to climb at 165 knots all the way to our cruise level today, which is flight level 120 over to London. As I said, flight time should be about 1 hour 15, 1 hour 20 minutes or so. Right, so I think we've covered everything. Flaps are set, navigation, AFE's done his things. Obviously, in reality, you do the power checks. I think it'd be a really cool addition if PMDG included a option for the artificial flight engineer to do the power checks. I mean, you can do them, but it takes a very long time, and I wouldn't exactly know what I'm trying, so we'll imagine that's done. And once we're lined up, we're going to go for the takeoff dry setting. So, we'll imagine we've got our takeoff clearance. Surface wind here in Amsterdam, right now it's 290 at 13 knots. Bit of rain, CB's around. Tempo gusts from 280 at 20, gusting 33. Lovely. So windy in Northern Europe at the moment. Right, parking brakes released. I think you should navigate using a sextant stopwatch. Thanks, Mark. I think I'd struggle with that. Excellent. I was saying get your togas in chat, but I need to get lined up and push the takeoff dry button first. We'll make a note of our airborne time. There's no stopwatch, but there is the clock there. We'll base it on Zulu though, so it'll be about 16:27 Zulu. The sun in our eyes the whole way flying westbound. I forgot I'm not in a 7.3, I was a little bit late turning, but there we go. Let's get ourselves lined up. Toga's in chat. Let's go to London Heathrow. So, take off dry.
30 inches stabilize. 30 inches stabilize.
So here we are. Increasing to 30 inches.
Stabilized. Cowl flaps. Cowl flaps.
Oops.
Cowl flaps set.
Forgot to let go of the brakes.
Full power, please. Going full power.
So here we are. Here comes takeoff power. Once takeoff power set, we'll release the brakes. beautiful.
Full power set.
Parking brake release, let's go. So airspeed's already live. Look, we're already doing 40 knots indicated because that will have been great big headwind. There's 80 knots. A little bit of left rudder coming in at the moment. There's 100 knots, rotate. Left rudder coming in, and we're airborne. So not going to climb massively, just want to get up to 130 knots.
Auxiliary, gear up. Gear selected up.
There's 130, so starting to pitch up to maintain their speed and trim.
Gear up, lights out.
Still
Lights
waiting for
up.
the Rotterdam
Flaps going
VOR to come alive. Approaching 500 feet, so we can start pitching for 140 knots. Stunning. Well, I see Fly Live's not working, as usual.
Meteor power.
Fly
Setting
Live
meteor power,
never works so
48
much as a flight
2600
simulator.
RPM.
There's 500 feet. 165, going to make, wait till 1,000 feet. There we are, the VOR's just come alive. Look, the needle's pointing towards Rotterdam. So there's 165, going to pitch up and trim. Need to get some lighting on in
Meteor
here.
power set. Climb power.
There's 1,000 feet, left turn direct to the VOR.
Climb power set. After takeoff checklist,
There we
please.
are, so let's pitch for 165. Much lighter than I've been on previous streams because we've got only 10,000 pounds of fuel. It's climbing
After
quite well.
takeoff checks complete.
So flying slightly, pushing the head here of the needle because I want to get back on that radial. So you'll see the course slip indicator will come back towards us. Still hand flying at the moment. As soon as that CDI is aligned, we can make a turn direct to the VOR. The wind's pretty much on the nose at the moment. I think it was 220 or something at 50 knots at 10,000 feet. There we are, and after takeoff check, this is all complete. Cool, so just waiting for that CDI to align. There we are, so we'll now head towards the VOR. So the wind's coming pretty much on the nose here, so we can point straight towards the VOR to start with. You guys will need to be squinting to us. But we are 7 minutes away from Rotterdam at ground speed 147 knots, so we're doing 165 indicated. Ground speed's 150 because of the speed on the headwind on the nose there. 16 miles to run. Very nice. And so it all stabilised. Lower mic workload now. We'll put the autopilot on. See the engine is putting some carburetor icing on. So we'll put the gyropilot on. There's that. And then localizer. Now it's going to track inbound for me. And I can use a little rotary knob here to set our target attitude when I climb. And all I need to do is rotate this to maintain a speed of 165 knots. There we are. After takeoff check is complete, we're on our way. I hope it's not too loud, I'll turn it down slightly. Beautiful. Now I need to work out how to turn the lighting up. Look at that, I'm climbing very quickly. I need to increase my climb again. So if I bring up Navigraph, just to show you what we're doing pictorially. There we are, inbound to the Rotterdam VOR on the 025 radial. Once we're there, we're going to go outbound on the next radial, which I'll have to look at the flight plan. Outbound from Rotterdam. Looking good. Jamlin, when is the giveaway happening? Not I ever win either. In the video description, always where the giveaway is Jamlin, and also pinned comment too. But once we get to Heathrow, everyone has a chance to win. Ooh, a little bit of icing. sun reflecting on the props. Climbing really well. Look at that, 1,000 feet per minute. Even though we've got a full load of passengers, but yeah, just a £10,000 of fuel. Oh, I might actually put the window heat on. Where's the outside air temperature gauge in the DC6? Oh, it's definitely going to be below 10 degrees. So I'll put the windshield heat and random anti-icing 10 to 0. Look at the clouds. This sim is wicked. Love how it looks. It's so cool. So we should be above the clouds at flight level 120. Outside air temperatures below the fuel flow. Thanks a lot, AstroTube. Where's the fuel flow? It's up here, so all the fuel tanks are up here. Fuel quantity. So nothing in the auxiliary tanks, but all in the main tanks. Lots of water. Is that for the water cooler? I don't know. Lots of anti-icing fluid. Might be needing that soon, but we are pressurising. Guarantee it'll be below 10 degrees, that's for sure. Abdu, can I get the VOR flight plan from SimBrief? I just usually build one myself, like manually. I think you can do VOR routing though on it, but I like to build it manually. I like to try and use existing airways where possible, which is quite hard today. But, and then once that's done, I just sort of needle something together. Centerish on the centre panel. Ah, there we go. I just seen it. At -6, right in that icing regime. Is this default weather? Yeah, this is just stock Microsoft Flight Sim weather. I have to say, Microsoft Flight Sim's live weather seems to improve recently. Seems to be a little bit better than, or closer to what a Meta is showing. It's just, I think, live weather stops working, doesn't it? From like 11 till 12 minutes past midnight, and it just doesn't work for reasons. And the mouse cursor has disappeared again. Let's check my engine stress visualizer. Oh, good. Oil temperature is just at the moderate stress range. I don't think there's much I can do there. Cinder head temperature. Again, the AFE will be adjusting the mixture to make sure everything's hunky-dory. Oh, that bug is fixed. Good to hear. Right, anyway, look, we are going to be approaching the Rotterdam VOR. Look, we're only 3.6 miles away. Bear in mind our elevation is about 6,000 feet per nautical miles, and when that reaches 1 nautical mile, we're going to be pretty much overhead the station, so about 2 miles laterally. So we're thinking about the turn next, so what I'm going to do is switch over to gyro pilot, which will keep the wings level. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan for our next course. We're not actually on an airway initially. So it's from Rotterdam, it's the 260 radial to Abned, so we're going to go 260 on the CDI. Close that. There we go. So 260. We'll approach the cone of confusion shortly. You'll see the RMI on the needles swing, and we've already lost the 2 from indicator, I think. So yeah, we're pretty much directly overhead here. Approaching our cleared level as well. We need to set standard, so standard's 1013, so 1013 there, and 1013 here. There we are, that's the cone of confusion. So needle has gone around, we can make our turn right now. We'll intercept that radial outbound, the 260 radial. There we are, so we're going to turn now. Because I was a little bit late with that turn, I'm going to go on to heading about 270 just to get back onto the 260 radial. Rotterdam is down there below us. Oops, please concentrate. There we are. I'll push that to go wings level. It's a bit violent, but that's that course, it's showing a fly right indication, so we need to pull that needle up to 260. It's going to come very close. It's going to be very close to VOR. It's going to be quite sensitive. There we go. So here comes the CDI indicator. As soon as that's bang on, we'll go back to localizer hold. Just same as tracking radial. There we are. Localizer. We're approaching flight level 120. Microsoft have say fixed the error whether it was a server setting. Guilherme, show your support to Dennis, YouTube channel called Pilot Blog. I've heard of him, he's Ukrainian. Show your support to fellows across the world. Absolutely, Guilherme. I do ask that we just keep all conversation related to the conflicts away from the chat. You know, this isn't the platform to do that. Of course, I am aware of who Pilot Blog is, and I wish everyone in the country the best wishes. Thanks for your understanding as well. The live weather bug isn't fixed yet. It gets fixed next week by Sim Update 8. Very good. Anyway, look, we're approaching our cleared flight level 120. So if I remember rightly, we have to wind the glide wheel down until we're pretty much showing, level, and then we can turn on altitude control. Now, if I remember rightly, sometimes you push altitude control, and it can just go a bit weird. It just sort of climbs or descends, and someone said it's because I didn't level off the aircraft last time. So I'll level off the aircraft this time using the glide wheel. Let's see what happens when we push out hold. So let's start slowing that down. We don't need to immediately set cruise power. So just rotating that glide wheel. There's our rate of climb decreasing. There we are. So get it bang on 120. Climbing at about 100 feet per minute. Just a couple more turns on the glide wheel. There we are. So that's 120. No rate of climb. Sometimes, look, watch when I push altitude control on. Watch what happens. Look, it shoots up. What am I doing wrong? I'm pushing altitude control and it just climbs up to 1,000 feet per minute. Is that a sim bug? And it just keeps on climbing? Why is it doing that? Never used to do that. Look, what have I done? So altitude control off, I'll just descend back down to flight level 120. But yeah, is that a PMDG thing, or is that a Microsoft Flight Simulator thing? Very annoying. Ooh, there's Rotterdam Port, largest port in Europe. So I'll try again one more time. Wojtek, did chat, when do you think this PMDG 737 will be out? That's the big question. No one knows. It's in beta now. I should think it'll be coming soon. I think we'll go to cruise power now.
Set cruise power, please. Setting cruise power.
Wojtek, it's a sim bug regarding the QNH. I think I remember this. I think I remember this now. Let me just level off here with the glide wheel. Yeah, okay, so I think it's something to do with the transition altitude being stuck at 18,000 feet. But what difference would that make? Surely, in the PMDG, if I select altitude control, it should just lock onto the altitude. I'll try it one more time. I vaguely remember something like this happening before. Flight Deck Sim knows something, you can hear it in his voice. Melvin, I swear to you, so all my life, I'm not involved at all with PMDG in their beta, I swear to you. So as far as I know, it's a 120, I've got 1013 set. It's pretty much level, but again, if I I flick on the altitude control, I vaguely remember something to do with the QNH. You've got it doesn't work when you set standard, so altitude holder doesn't work when you set standard. But why? So I'll show you now. Look at this. Look, 0 feet. It's no rate to climb. Pretty much 120. Look, as soon as I turn on altitude control on, a wee, it just climbs up at 1,000 feet per minute. Oh. Actually, I just want to see what happens out of curiosity, not on ATC here. Let's just see what happens, because what's the pressure in Amsterdam? Oh, it's leveling off now. What I'll do, I'll let it level off, and I'll push B, which will set the local altimetry setting. Maybe it can only maintain an altimeter, but surely altitude control works off whatever the altimeter is saying. So when you turn it on, it looks at what your setting is and goes there. It seems to be okay. It seems to be settling now, but it's still climbing at 100 feet per minute. Beautiful evening. Right, settle down. Let me just push B. Okay, so it maintains. Let's use your imagination. QNH set is now 1008, so maintaining technically 12,000 feet, but we'll have to use your imagination. Imagine the standard set. So that's what it's doing. Bit strange, anyway. It'll likely settle at whatever that indicated altitude would be in the local QNH. Got you. So is that a Microsoft bug or a PMDG bug? They haven't coded the altitude control to account for both standard and local altimeter settings. That's right. Got you. The only other option is I climb to. I'm guessing it's fixed to 18,000 because I remember now. I've done a few other PMDG streams. And I think what I did on the earlier ones, I went above 18,000 feet, we're cruising at like 210, and it didn't have the same bug because above 18,000 feet, I think it's obviously in the US, above the transition altitude, but in Europe, there's very few places that are as high as that. I think the highest 10,000 feet around the Alps, Austria, places like that. Most places between like 4,000 and 8,000 feet. Laurie, if I remember correctly, the reason for this is that PMDG uses the default Microsoft Flight Sim altitude hold autopilot for this. Ah, okay. I hope that PMDG is not using the default autopilot. Anyway, well on our way, we're in the cruise 120. We're not on an airway, but we are routing direct to Abned. How do I know we are? Because we based off that radial from Rotterdam, the 263 radial. And by the time I get to Abned, shortly after that, I shall pick up the Lambourne VOR in London, just east of London. And this VOR we're going to fly inbound on the 083 radial all the way to Lambourne and fly the transition, which will start our descent in probably about 35 minutes or so. But here we are, over the eastern part of the English Channel. We're still north of Holland, Holland's off to our left. Looking good. Astrid, if you want to maintain flight level 120, set QNH 1013, reach your altitude, press B, engage out hold, then set Q and H back to 1013. I guess this is a workaround. Well, as we're off, if we're on VATSIMs now, we'll do that, but as we're offline, we'll just maintain 12,000 feet QNH. Imagine we're in America. Otherwise, it's all doing very well. I need to get some lighting on here because it's going to be getting dark soon. So a bit of that. A bit of that. Ooh. Red. That's better. Excellent. Jens, anyone know if there's a DC3 for Microsoft Flight Simulator in development or already released? I don't think there's any released, and I don't know of any of it's in development. It'll be a cool aircraft to fly. I've flown the... Which one was it? In X-Plane. I can't remember the dev now. It's good. It's good. I haven't flown in ages. Let me just try and get Fly Live back up here. Still haven't got the spot. Why that sometimes doesn't work. Oh, cool sign today is KLM Delta Charlie. 6 Delta Charlie. You can probably try and work out how I got the idea behind that. Right. There we go. It seems to be working now. Give it a few minutes. It won't be. Henrik, never had the autopilot issue in the DC6. It flies pretty nice. I think if I remember rightly, Henrik, that little altitude hold issue is to do with if you're flying below standard, below 18,000 feet, and if you try and maintain a flight level below 18,000 feet in Microsoft Flight Simulator, which you do in Europe, it can't maintain that unless you do that workaround. Oh, Airplane Heaven's working on a DC3, which is pretty close to Reese, that's cool. Otherwise, the aircraft is really nice. There seems to be loads going on. I mean, if it wasn't for the virtual flight engineer, I think I could probably get it from A to B with difficulty. The key thing is to make minimal power changes, especially on descent and approach. You're so used to in a jet airliner, you can make as many changes to thrust as required. On here, you've got to be very respectful of the engines. You can't just set full power. If you just set full power, you're going to blow it up, basically. Especially with the mixture lean. Everything's going to exceed everything there. Andrea, you're going to be flying the Bravo November, is that the Bonington arrival? We're sort of doing the Logan 2 Hotel RNAV arrival, but just following the track and the VOR, not the actual RNAV points. But we are actually going to fly the initial approach from Lambourne conventionally.
Welcome.
Pagpack, how do you know you've reached your next waypoint? Excellent question. Let me bring up Navigraph. You can see we're flying from Rotterdam towards Abned. See, it's obviously not quite as accurate, flying a range of probably a degree off there. And we need to find out the distance. Now, if you have a look at your operational flight plan, if we look at this, you can see that Abned, you're looking for distance. Abned distance 49 miles. That means from Rotterdam it's 49 miles to Abned. So if I bring up Navigraph again, we know that's 49 miles. And where do I get that from in the aircraft? If we look down here, we have the DME distance. So we're at 42.6 miles from Rotterdam. Ground speed is 207 knots. That's based off DME. 12 minutes flight time away based off that speed. Obviously, if we turn around, our ground speed is going to increase because we'll then have a tailwind. So when that says 49, we're nowhere overhead and Franco Bob Fred, can you turn around and pick me up? Too late. Do you have the superchargers turned on? I don't, AFO 3310. It's sort of used, I think the superchargers above 16,000 feet. We've got enough power here to maintain 200 knots. Yeah, because if you climb the manifold pressure, once you get above 16,000 feet, the manifold pressure starts dropping below 40 inches. Yes. As mentioned, if you just tuned in, welcome to the stream. All about checking out the new iniBuilds Heathrow scenery once we've landed here. This is just a bit of fun, just to demonstrate some raw data navigation on IFR flying, which I love doing in the DC6. And once we get into Heathrow, I'm just going to do a giveaway straight away. just like that. That's what Tommy Cooper would say. And then I'll throw you to the Be Right Back screen, jump into the Volocopter, and you can join me as well, and we'll go and explore the new iniBuilds scenery, and then we'll do a second giveaway. It's all, of course, courtesy of iniBuilds, who's been very generous to me in letting me give away their products. Astro, nerd alert, technically the superchargers are always on, but they're on low unless you fly high enough. I didn't know, Astro. But I think they're off at the moment, aren't they? Or, oh no, I think you're right though, they're always on low. Is it low blower? I can't remember. I have used them. I think on our last flight we went all the way up to like 22,000 feet and I had to turn them on. But you can easily blow up the engines if you're not careful. Sweet. No stream tomorrow, guys, but on Saturday I have the stream unlisted. I will publish it tonight. I am doing the Flight Factor February fly-in with Q8 pilot and XP72. I'll be flying from Heathrow to Helsinki. If you check out the Flight Factor Discord, you've got a chance of winning any of the Flight Factor aircraft. I'll be giving away a copy as well. That'll be on Saturday at 5 PM. Unless I'm called off standby. Anyway, oh yes, I have a look here. 50 miles, so we should have just passed that waypoint. It was at 49. Let me just get the Navigraph up for myself. There you go. There we are, past that then. So it works quite well. Now what we want to do, I'm just going to stay on this VOR initially because I do need to pick up the landboard VOR, so that's 15.6. So 15.6. Put that on box 2, and when we pick it up we'll switch over to box 1. Oh, look at this weather. Beautiful. That's why I'm streaming around this time. Great. Simple takeoffs. When doing VOR navigation, would you consider tuning an NDB for intra-situation awareness using the ADF? If you can find one. There's not many used en route navigation these days. But yes, it is an option. Look, it looks like we've already picked up landboard. So there's a needle pointing in that direction. Is there a way of actually identing yet? Can you actually listen to the idents? Some idents. I don't know if you can. Anyway, let's just go over to gyropilot again. Maintain max level. We want to go active on 15.6. 15.6. Should be pretty much on the radial already. There you are. Look, both needles swing around. CDI is just showing us a slight flight right indication. And we've got 263 radial. So 1, 2, 3. There we are. Alright, look at that. Bang on it. Sorry, on the 093 radial, 263 inbound. So we'll now turn on localizer. There we go. Hello, Jorgen. Hi, just came across the QI video telling about can anybody fly a plane thing that, when it turns out, has never happened. Any interesting facts about this? Ever a passenger land a plane? I think I know that episode of QI. I haven't often watched it, but I remember seeing that particular bit, and they said that in no known situation in history has a passenger had to completely land a plane. I think it's never been the case where both pilots have fallen ill. Maybe there is, I don't know. Yeah, it's an interesting one here. If they could get into the cockpit, firstly, and get in the scene, get in the control, the first problem they're going to have, I always say this, they're going to be unable to move the seat forward, because that's probably the first thing you have to learn the type rating, is how the seat moves. So they won't reach the controls. But if they were able to somehow move the seat forward and get hold of air traffic control, I'm sure air traffic control could set something up whereby they can communicate with that passenger to get to manipulate the autopilot and get the aircraft into a position for an auto land. I should think that would be possible. Obviously, for any of you guys who are familiar with that aircraft in flight sim, you'd be in a far better position to be able to do with that. One of the things you might struggle with is the handling element, so you'd very much want to be relying on the automatic landing system, because it's one thing landing the aircraft with a peripheral in your PC. The actual physical controls are very different, and the sensation and inputs that you need to be made would not be known at all. Muscle memory over the type rating. So yeah, and also land, I'd have a lot of confidence in a lot of you guys being able to get, for example, the 737 or the Airbus or whatever you fly in the sim into a position to complete an automatic landing. But a crosswind over 10-15 knots you'll struggle with, I guarantee you. So, look at that, we're only 30 minutes away from Lambourne. What are we trying to aim to be at Lambourne at flight level 70, or 7,000 feet, we'll say today. And there's a really nice rule of thumb, which is actually on one of the PMDG tutorials regarding rates of descent. And we've got quite a strong headwind today. Well, actually here it's not actually any wind. 204 knots, 204. Is that Microsoft Flight Simulator not giving me any wind? I'd be very surprised if there's no wind today. Might be. Actually, to be fair, Heathrow it's not as windy. Could be the case. First, you want to work out how much you want to descend by. So we want to be at Lambourne, this VOR we're flying directly to. I want to be there at about 7,000 feet, flight level 70, and we're at 12,000 feet. So we only need to lose, what's that, 5,000 feet. 7,000 feet. And 7,000 feet, you just simply times that by 5 to work out how many miles you want to start your descent by. So 7 miles Times that by 5, it's 35 miles away, and that's based on a descent rate of 1,000 feet per minute. So when we're 35 miles away from Lambourne, we'll start our VOR, and then we'll fly the approach. We'll start briefing in about 10 minutes or so. There is a YouTube video of the passenger going down flying a Cessna. Very cool. Very good. John, 12 minus 7 equals 5. What did I say? What did I can't remember what I said now. We want to be at there. Sorry, we want to be at. Lost VOR flight on Lambourne. I want to be at Lambourne at 7,000 feet. Sorry, yes, I completely got the numbers wrong. The reason is I made notes because I was expecting to cruise high today, but we're at 12,000. Yet we only need to lose 5,000 feet, sorry, to get to flight level 70. So times that by 5, 25 miles before, not 35. My bad. My bad. I think it was, let me have a look at the charts. What's the restriction? This, yeah, look at this. Look, we're flying inbound on this arrival. Going to be going from Logan Sabre. This isn't our arrival, but it's just sort of what we're following. We're flying this, following the radial inbound. Lambourne 70, so we only need to lose 5,000 feet. So 5 times 5, 25 miles prior to that, we'll start our descent. I think it says 093, sorry, it's 083 radial, that's the one we're on. So if I overlay this, there you go, you can see how it's going to work. But this is RNAV arrival. I mean, you could technically, is it RNAV 5? Yes, RNAV 5, only basic RNAV. So RNAV 5, I think you only need DME and basic RNAV. You could fly this safe on an INS, no problem. But Logan, we're obviously below that, and Sabre 160, but we'll aim to make this restriction at Lambourne. Oh, hello, Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think the wind's just massively increased. Oh my goodness me, I've just jumped 500 feet. Now, that would cause problems. That would cause problems on that sim. What happened there? Was that live weather updating? My goodness. Yeah, once we get to Lambourne, we're going to fly this. So this is for final approach without radar control. So if Heathrow was to lose radar, this is how you actually get onto the ILS, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to fly this outbound 273, intercept the 127 from Bovingdon, and then from Bovingdon we're going to intercept the ILS onto 270. It's pretty cool. I saw that and I thought that would be perfect for the DC6. IT for the first time ever catching a stream from my desk in the office. Been WFH for 2 years. Good thing none of my co-workers show up before 10 AM. They're developers. Excellent too. Don't you get in trouble. Thanks for popping in, buddy. So about halfway on the sector. Has Fly Live frozen? I believe it has. Oh no, it hasn't. No, so the altitude is still decreasing. That's good. Drone camera's a bit late. There's a wicked livery. That's nice. Wicked. There we are, live time, live weather. Chasing the sun. Box Gamer just finished watching a documentary about the Max. I watched that as well. Made for some. Yeah, it was quite interesting. let's leave it at that. Let's leave it at that. I'll be flying the Max in the future. Looking forward to do so. I'm fully confident. So all the issues that were present in the past are no longer present for the future and in the current version of flying. gust happened at 1700 Zulu, so exactly say it was a weather reload. So in Microsoft Flight Simulator, does the weather reload hourly then? It'd be better if it was like a smoother transition. Started coming in a couple of weeks ago. My mental health really needed the separation between work and home. Oh, I can imagine that too. I don't know how people working from home can be really difficult because you can't tell between the two. It sort of merges into one. Quite tricky. Thanks, Calamar, for your continued support as a member as well. Over 12 months as a member. Thank you very much. I don't know if you've rejoined or whatever that thing's pinged up for, but you're here as a member now. Thank you. Draven DeVere, so pretty. You've chosen a good time to fly westwards to the sunset. It's perfect time today. That's why I'm doing it a little bit earlier as well. Every 15 minutes. Thanks, Lauren. That's beautiful. I forgot to pay again. No problem, Callum. Thanks, buddy. Appreciate it. Rika de Rids, what was it like flying in Storm Unis? Not pleasant. Not pleasant at all. But got the badge, completed it. Very lucky. The time we landed, the worst of the storm had passed. We still had 45, 50 knot winds, but it was pretty much down the runway for us when we got to our ETA. Autopilot kicked out at about 1,200 feet. I went, nope, you can do it now. I was like, okay, great. Quite a few times had to make full inputs to keep wings level, but yeah, that's what it's like in those conditions. I was very fortunate at the time I got there. Wojtek, you're hearing some engine stuttering, or is it the stream? Stream should be all okay my side. With Streamlabs and YouTube you get a colour. It tells you if the stream quality is dropping off, but ever since I moved house I've got quite good upload speed here. I've got almost 60-70 megs per second upload, about 300 download, very lucky. It's all looking good here. Phoenix 94, you bought the PMDG 737. Wow, I'm guessing not the one for Microsoft Flight Simulator. Beautiful. Oh, is that the windshield? I accidentally turned on the windshield wiper. Oh, is that not working? Is that the windshield wiper? On. Oh, I don't think it's working. No. This is beautiful. What's that there? Oh, it's a little bit of a cloud. I thought it might have been a little bit of an island. But no, there's nothing here. This is part of the English Channel, just over the sea at the moment. Virtual flight engineers keeping everything in check. There's the pressurisation, so cabin altitude is indicating 5,000 feet. What's this for? Don't know. Temperature control, is this for the cabin? So much of this aircraft. Oops. I put the seatbelt sign on. Now look at all the wind farms. Beautiful. So everyone reckons PMDG 737's out in the next weekend or weekend after? Really? Getting close now. PMDG development update 9th of February for the 737. We aren't quite ready for takeoff restrictions off the beta data testers, but possibly next weekend or the weekend after. Wow. I know what everyone's going to be flying for the next 2 weeks after that. yeah, you'll get lots of content with that. There will be a review, there will be an inaugural stream. I'll pencil in a day for that so we can do some normal sectors, do some different approaches to normal sector from A to B, try out some non-precision approaches, see how it's all working. We'll do some non-normal stuff. Quite interested to see how all the systems are working and interacting. I should think very well how good the DC6, the 737 was for the NGX. Let me start again. PMDG for FSX prepared. Just hope it sits well in the simulator. I mean, the weather system in this sim seems to be improving, but I was doing the test sector earlier in Heathrow, and it said the winds were 25, gusting 40, but the airspeed was rock solid. In those conditions, you'd expect the speed to be fluctuating quite a bit. I mean, but it was sort of like rock solid and no turbulence. It used to have turbulence, I thought, though. Yeah, very exciting. But yeah, they're releasing the 700 first. Yeah, that's right. I've heard. Why? That's an interesting one. Surely the 800's the one they're going to want. But how's it work? They're releasing the 700 and then 800 will be DLC, or will that be a free update? I have flown a 700. It's the same for all intents and purposes. Excellent. So we did say 25 miles to start our descent. We're 50 miles and 16 minutes. The top descent is probably going to be about 8 minutes away. So let's, before we start our descent, talk a little bit about how we're going to do things today. So we're just currently overhead Logan, still inbound on the 083 radial towards Lambourne. We're going to stay on this radial until we're directly overhead. These restrictions you can disregard. Remember, the arrivals in airports like this are based off commercial jet traffic. It'll be quite hard to probably make these restrictions and also maintain a speed restriction as well, because you can't just fiddle with these engines to adjust to maintain an airspeed. You've got to be quite respectful of them. So we're going to keep going in a straight line all the way till Lambourne, and that's it, disregarding the descent restrictions. Max 220 again, we're probably going to be doing that anyway in this aircraft. Now once we get to Lambourne, it's going to get quite busy for me. We'll fly outbound initially on the 273 radial. Going to be at flight level 70 at that point, and what I'm going to do is actually this 6,000 feet restriction is pretty tricky in the DC6 to maintain that, then descend and get straight in on the ILS, because to get down from 6,000 and start descending you've got to get it configured. Otherwise, if you're clean and still in the in-range checks, your speed runs away here. So I'm actually going to go to 70, and I'm just going to start. We're just going to disregard the restrictions today. Regarding altitude, but we're going to follow the same lateral routing. We're going to go from Lambourne outbound 11 miles, 273. Once we're at 11 miles, make a left turn to intercept the 127 radial from Bovingdon. From Bovingdon, we're going to go out till we are 19 miles away, and once we're there, we're going to make a turn here. Now, this turn's quite a wide turn for 27 left in the DC6, so what I'm going to probably do is make a bit of a base leg, turn south. And then we're going to have a look at the RMI. Once I'm within 10 degrees of the final approach track, so that's 270. So within 10 degrees of that, I'll make the intercept turn to final 45 degree intercept, and then we'll intercept tight 27 left. So that's it. Onto the ILS. We're going to have obviously the frequencies Lambourne, so we'll get Lambourne active on box 1 and 2, which I think they are. 15.6 and 15.6. I'm now going to put Bovingdon on box 1 and 2 on standby. So that's going to be 13.75. So actually, I'll put this one on 13.75. I'll put the ILS here on standby and nav 2 for later on. The ILS frequency is 1095, so 1095. There we go. Once you got to the ILS then, platform's 2,500, interceptor 7.5 DME, we'll probably be above that, maybe level at 2.5. And then we'll go down the ILS. Cap 1 minimum we'll use, 277 feet, go around, straight ahead. 1,000 feet on the edge of the runway, left turn track 147 to 2,000, and passing 6 miles we can climb to 3,000 feet without delay. Obviously that would be catered for all by ATC. So yeah, pretty straightforward. Descent mode, I think they want you to stay in the cruise configuration. When you're below 10,000 feet you do the descent checks, and then they'll reconfigure the engines for descent. Got to be very respectful of the engine power though, only small changes. I've seen conflicting numbers and things. I think online on one of the videos they mentioned don't go below 900 BMEP. On one of the tutorials included with PMDG, it says use 60 BMEP for descent. So I think as long as it's around 60 to 100, you're okay. But if you're going making big changes all the time, you're going to damage the engines. So, yeah, it should be good fun. Stephen, everything aviation will go electric. It's getting that way. There's is it DHL or FedEx have an aircraft order for these little electric aircraft that can carry about a ton, parcels around and stuff like that. It'll be a long time until it's financially viable, or we have the technology for commercial aircraft to be electric. But certainly, light aircraft, it's the future's just around the corner, really. Apparently each series type will be released separately. If you want the 700, you just buy that with its different variants, and likewise the 800. Okay. Why don't we just release what was it before? It was just 800, wasn't it? And then was 500, 600 a add-on? Not sure. Actually, the main thing is you must keep BMEP above 60, and you should avoid moving the throttle, but that's less important. Okay, I'll try my best to keep BMEP above that. Hans had a captain, not to catch a stream. What's the thoughts on the new MH17 renovations? Radio, maps of track, pinpoint location, flight path, and yet no search. Hans, I'm not up to speed with the latest MH17 instance. Which one's that? Is that that was the one that was shot down, wasn't it? There's the 370 was the one, and the that was lost at sea, and they were never going to find. The other one's the other one. I've not heard of any new light to do that, but yeah, obviously someone's Corporal. Well, hard to believe these days that DC6 was once cutting-edge tech. I know. Everything ever that was made was once cutting-edge tech, if you think about it. But yeah, imagine after the war seeing this for the first time, someone would have gone, whoa. Anyway, there is the United Kingdom. It's the Thames estuary here. Looking good. Superb. So again, we're waiting for that 25 miles distance to start our descent. And we only need to lose 5,000 feet to get down to 7-0. I remember when a slide roll was cutting edge tech. Love it, John. MH370 meant. Yeah, MH17 was the one that to Kuala Lumpur from Amsterdam, wasn't it? That was shot out from the sky in area associated with local news today. MH370 was the one that was lost over the sea. I'm guessing you're meaning the latter. But I've not heard of any update. A few of those ones. Big conspiracy theory with that one. Excellent. Oh, get your. I've just realised something. Get your maps out. That's not the Thames estuary. That's the Thames estuary. Uh-oh. Oops. Unbelievable. Look at the sun effects. Beautiful how the sun comes in and reflects. The shadow is super nice. Yeah, no, nice one. Had a quick look at the map here. There you go. Just past Clacton on the right hand side. I've flown to Clacton a few times. My Cessna. $27 miles to go. God, this doesn't take long at all to get here. I've only been airborne 50 minutes, starting on descent. I mean, this aeroplane, I mean, we're flying at 210 knots. It's not fast, of course, but it's it's almost half the speed of a commercial jet airline. There's no slouch. Anyway, 25 miles, top of sensor chat. We're going to leave it in cruise power, as I said, until we get to around 10,000 feet. So all I need to simply do is turn off altitude control off, and we'll wind in 1,000 feet per minute. And you just let the aircraft accelerate. It can go easily up to 300 knots at this stage. There we are. There's 1,000 feet per minute rate of descent set. And you just have to level off manually. Remember, obviously, this we can't set standard because the autopilot doesn't have the capability of maintaining flight levels below 18,000 feet, I don't think. 3, 2, 1, short. 20 seconds watching. There's the first whoops. First whoops already. Yeah, slight geographical error. That's what we want to do. I've got a whoops on my soundboard somewhere. I know I have. I can't find it now. Oh yeah, every time I make a mistake I need to go, oops! There we go. It took me ages to find. Beautiful. Hey, sometimes nice to just go offline. I love going on VATSIM, of course, and the vast majority of streams will be, but it's nice just to have a nice chill stream occasionally. You know, enjoy the challenges of flying this aircraft at the pressures of online ATC moving you around. Ahoy, hello John Doe, ahoy to you. Just going to keep an eye on that ETA. So 5 minutes, got to be at 7,000 feet. And we've got, so 1,000 feet per minute will be there in 3.5. So yeah, nice and early at that restriction. Absolutely beautiful. So don't forget, guys, there'll be 2 giveaways of the iniBuilds scenery. One after landing on standard DC6, just going to straight away do a giveaway. Without even looking at the scenery, you'll have won it. And then we'll reload in the Volocopter. Make sure you're getting in your Volocopters in the next 10 minutes or so. I'll be on the Northern Europe server. And we'll have a nice little look at the iniBuilds scenery during the daylight hours, so you can see everything that has to be offered. So now do is the descent.
26 inches, please.
Just going to reduce power.
26 inches.
That'll stop the speed washing away because we're doing 240 knots at the moment.
Set. Descent checklist, please.
There's a 7-0 restriction at that point.
Altimeters and flight instruments cross-checked.
You heard it, Volocopter Aerostar. Absolutely.
Engine blowers low.
I like to call it the Rufflecopter.
Descent checks are complete.
Excellent. Does VATSIM link up with Microsoft Flight Sim? Absolutely, Anon. VPilot. Actually, it's quite good. I prefer the RT, how it sounds. But it does work fine. We have used VATSIM on Microsoft Flight Simulator a few times. It's increased the RPM, I think, to 2300 RPM. Remember, no GPS at all. But, London and Heathrow is off in our left here. Very rewarding when you get from A to B, flying without GPS and modern navigation. Three minutes to go, and we have about 1,500 feet to lose as well, so perfect for that restriction. Welcome, Nick123Nack. Love it. Loved you in that James Bond film. Excellent. Oil pressure is moderately stressed at the moment. Love that. The group flying Anon, so Microsoft Flight Simulator, yes, you have online Microsoft Flight Simulator, so anyone can join you. You will see, it's great fun. We've done a few community flights. This will be a mini Microsoft Flight Simulator community flight. I remember we last did it in the Volocopter, it was in Rio, caused carnage. Right, anticipating the level off at flight level 70, perfect timing. There's the restriction at Lambourne. We're getting ready to fly the conventional transition onto the ILS, which is here. Here comes the level off. So we'll start leveling off using the glide wheel. Remember that's 70 inverted commas slash QNH. Oops, I've just updated it now. How DC6 came with iPad? I quite like it though, just so you can interact with the systems. What else? How else would you interact with it if it wasn't for an iPad? Like a pop-up menu, I suppose. But I quite like that. Sorry, I'm not enjoying the views, but it does require some concentration and manipulation of the automation to get the aircraft doing what I need it to do. 70, so we'll level off. Excellent. Let's just turn on altitude control briefly. On. I'm going to turn on the gyro pilots. Or turn off localizer mode, so we're about to go directly overhead the VOR. Next outbound is going to be 273, so I can actually preset that here. 273. 23. We're 1 minute away, 1.7 miles, so once that's at 1, we'll be directly over the airport. Over the Lambourne VOR. And I'm just going to start a little turn here onto 273. About to go over the cone of confusion. There's a needle swing. Boop, there's the cone of confusion. Outbound on 273. It's level. There we are. So we're very close to VOR, so that's showing a fly left indication, but because we're so close, look, you can see it's already coming in. Just keep wings level, and then as soon as we're on the middle of that, we can engage localizer hold. There we are, so we've met the restriction 70, and then we're going to start a gentle descent down to about 3,000 feet very shortly. There we are, let's stick on localizer hold. There we are. Now outbound on the 273, we're going to wait till 11 miles from Lambourne, and then we're going to intercept the Bovington 127 radial. Absolutely beautiful evening. We have the sun right on our eyes on the approach into Heathrow, where I think it'll probably just set. So I'm not going to configure flaps yet, we need to be below 174 knots, which we're pretty much doing now, but we're going to start a very, very gentle descent now. There's altitude control. Turn that off. We're just going to do around 300 feet per minute. There we go. Very cool. Sim looks stunning this evening, I know. There's London over there. I don't know if we can actually see any landmarks. Is that the Shard? Possibly. Ah, yeah, look. London City, Millennium Dome. Absolutely amazing. I mean, these aircraft probably 50s, 60s were flying into Heathrow every day. Let's increase that rate of descent slightly. So remember, we're waiting for 11 miles from Lambourne. Already 6. Ooh, what's going on here? Ooh, a little bit wavy. Yeah, actually, I was thinking the weather would be a lot worse here in Heathrow. Certainly a lot better than Amsterdam. Yeah, it's perfect here. 29017, 10k, no clouds, 5 degrees, 1014. So I have to admit, Microsoft's live weather has certainly gotten a lot closer to what the METARs are saying. It's much better to see. So what I'm actually going to do is take a little bit more power off. It might just jump here as I match my throttle leave us up. Oh, I think I need to turn the AFE off, don't I? So let's turn him off, and then I can just take a little bit less power. Let's just go down to about 75 BMEP. Just keep speed below 200 knots. How to enter giveaway. All instructions will be present after landing. Don't you worry about that. You just have to put a keyword in chat later on. Don't do it yet. It won't work. I haven't set it up. But I'll explain how to enter. Do not worry. So again, waiting for 11 miles. 9.2. There we are. Oh, sorry, Millennium Dome. I am a millennial. I went to the Millennium Dome in year 2000. Always been known to the Millennium Dome. No, O2 Arena. Well, half its roof's missing at the moment because of Storm Eunice. 10.3, nearly there. Right, so next radio is going to be 127. So I'm going to go over to Gyro Pilot. Radio 1. It can be so sensitive sometimes. 1, 2, 7. There's a left turn coming in now. There we are, left turn. Bovington's 1375, active. 1375 is also active, and the ILS frequency 1095. Come on, standby. So what I want to do is just actually head south initially. The reason is because with the DC6 we're going to cut the corner massively. We want the tail of this needle on 127. So if I go wings level now, I'll show you why. Oh, clipping mouse cursor. You can see it's cut the corner a little bit. I mean, I could do a very shallow turn, but I'm just going to head south and intercept that radial. Right, I need to actually start increasing my rate of descent here. I'm a little bit high, so let's plug in 1,000 feet per minute and reduce that BMEP a little more, just to 70. Oh, they've fixed the roof. Excellent. So we want the tail of that needle on 127. We're pulling that table up at the moment, so it's around 120. Once it gets to around 10 degrees off, which it is now, I'll give it a bit more of a shallower intercept to deal with. Beautiful. Look at this. What a time to approach. There's 5,000 feet. A little bit high here. I can extend downwind slightly if needed. There we are, so there's that radial coming in. Let's turn here. Onto 127. There's the indication for the 127 radial. Amazing, there's London. Absolute stuff. Right, so wings level, and then we'll re-engage localizer. So it's now going to stay on the localizer outbound. So that's the 127 radial from Bovington. And it's not for very long, it's only for about 16 miles. We're at 4,000 feet here. I'm really high. I'm a bit high here, but we'll get plenty of time to slow down. And we're just waiting for a distance of, what was it, 20 miles. 20 miles. Oh, I'm already there, so I need to turn final now. Let me just give it. Oh, no! I know why it's done that. Because I was still in gyro, localizer hold. Let's just turn final manually. Right, so I'm just going to level off here. Well, slowly start descending to 3,000 feet. The reason it did that, I tried to turn the gyro pilot whilst in localizer hold. So let's select the ILS, 195, 195. Ooh, I'm climbing. So sensitive sometimes. I'm going a little bit fast here. I'm going to struggle to get in here, maybe on this. Something like that. We don't need it because it's a localizer. Let's just give ourselves a nice decent intercept heading. We're already 1 dot here, so let's, I need to bring that power back even more now, so 60 BMEP, no less, that's a good intercept heading. There's localizer alive. There's the runway ahead. Okay, we sort of got there. If I bring up Navigraph briefly to show you, you can see how it sort of worked. I just kicked off the autopilot, that was the only problem. We're going to level off at 3,000 feet. Now we should be okay. So there's 3,000, hand flying now. 60 BMEP, I don't want to do any less than this. And speed's going to hopefully start slowly washing off to below 175 knots. I can do the in-range checks now.
Cooling turbine. Normal.
There's 3,000. Yeah, we're going to go around.
Pumps. On low. Fuel tank selectors. Mains on, crossfeed off. Hydraulic bypass valve.
So just maintaining 3,000s.
No smoking signs. On.
And I'm selecting flaps to 20 now.
Checks complete.
So below 174 knots, I can select flap 20. Oh, massive balloon, I didn't realise I was climbing there. I'm just going to take the power, AFE off it. Oh, it's so sensitive at pitch. So about 90 BMEP. There's glide slope capture coming up here. So speed's about 140 knots. There's glide slope capture. I'm happy with the engine management though. I've pretty much kept it where I needed it to be. There's about 70 BMEP. Small changes. We're now going to do the landing checks.
Flaps 20.
So flaps already at 20.
20 flaps set. Mixtures rich, please. Auto rich.
So a bit off the localizer here.
Mixtures set.
Anyone got the surface wind for Heathrow?
Gear up and down, please.
Whilst I'm hand flying.
Gear up and down.
Here comes the gear. Excuse me. Sun has just set.
Gear down and lock.
Perfect.
Props. 2400 RPM.
27060. Oh, down the runway. Okay, thanks.
2400 RPM set. Cow flaps. Plus 3 degrees. Cow flaps set. ADI. ADI off.
So that's the final approach fix there, 2,500 feet.
Speed good, extending lights.
We're just going to keep it at 90 BMEP as much as, all the way down pretty much, doing 140 knots. And we can just extend the flaps as required to keep the speed coming back whilst leaving the power pretty much set as it is. 27018 gusting 32. So if you look at the airspeed indicator, it's very stagnant. If you had winds like that, I'm 737 here, the airspeed's going to be, especially below 1,000 feet, we're not quite there yet, you'll see that the airspeed indicator is up, down, in those sort of winds. It's very stagnant now in Microsoft Flight Simulator. It doesn't seem to simulate gusts as much. X-Plane 11's default weather engine isn't that great either with regards to variable winds and gusts. That's why I use Active Sky. I'm not affiliated with them at all. It's a really good plugin which simply gives you far more realistic wind variation and gusts. Makes it feel really realistic. Doesn't seem to be the case here. There is no gust. Fair enough, but still, it's very still conditions with those winds. Looking good. Speed's about 135 knots. We'll leave it at flap 20. Once sort of landing's assured, just quoting the tutorial, it says extend the flaps a little more. We've left the power exactly where it is now. I haven't touched the power for around 3 or 4 minutes. Minimal power changes. Very nice. Oh, Chewie is here, is he? Hello, Chewie, 94. I've had the pleasure of meeting Chewie once in Seattle. Hope you're doing well. A little bit high, 3 wide, so I'm actually going to take a natural flop setting. A little bit of power off, not much, just at 80 BMEP. The flaps are going to help. I should go to flap 40. I believe below 150 knots or so, there's no restrictions for the flaps. Then once landing is assured, you can use flap 50. There we are. So that's helped me having to make massive power changes. They used to manipulate the flaps up and down to control the airspeed on short finals. So I'm going to go back towards 90 PMEP now. That's about 110 knots. I don't want to be going much slower than 105. So make a little bit more power then. And this is the iniBuilds scenery coming into view. Don't forget, we're going to jump into the Volocopter afterwards to have a nice tour of the scenery from iniBuilds. It's just part of the first part of the stream. I am going to be giving away a copy without even seeing it, but if you actually go on the iniBuilds YouTube page, you can have a full preview of that scenery anyway, if you would already like to have a look. I've already had a good look. It's actually very nice. And I like what they've done to optimise the performance as well. It seems to be very smooth on my PC. Anyway, a little bit more power put there, about 130. Just want to keep that speed around 105 knots. I probably could go to flat 30, but looking good so far. A little bit high, 3 winds, and then we're going to go have our little tour on the Volocopter. So remember minimums. What height was the minimums? I can't remember now. 277 feet. I'm going to go flaps to 50. Looking good. PMP is about 100. And then you want to cut the power just above the runway. Very nice. Tad low, that's okay. There we are, the threshold. Here's the flare, closing the power. Holding it off. That's a butter. Minus 10 it came up on my screen. I don't know if you saw it. There we are. We're down. I'm not going to use any reversers, any brakes. You don't want to use the wheel brakes in this unless you have to. We've got loads of runway here. You can, of course, use reverse. You can bait to the prop to slow down. But here we are, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Heathrow in the DC6. This airport's no doubt seen tens of thousands of DC6s in its time. And here's another one it can add to its list. We'll take this right here. With a little bit of brakes. There we go. And you can already see, look, there's the British Airways maintenance hub. There's the famous looking Heathrow Tower. Beautiful. Let's do the after landing flow. Absolutely beautiful. Right, we're just going to park straight ahead, basically. There's a stand over here I used earlier. Unfortunately, the jet bridge is not compatible with this aircraft, as you'd imagine. And then we're going to have a look around in the Volocopter. But we'll do a giveaway very shortly, the first giveaway on this scenery. Excellent. There we are. So I'll let the AFE do the clean-up. Take a right here. I really enjoyed taking this aircraft out again. I installed it yesterday. I was having a few problems with the scenery, the liveries, but I did see there was a fix for it on the PMDG forum. Oh, the colours of the sim are fantastic. You always get that sort of pinky purple. Yeah, when the sun's just dipping below the horizon. Looks so good. Excellent. Looks awful quiet. Well, we are. It is only us in the simulator. We're going to start on 09 left in the Volocopter. We're going to do a full orbit around the airport and have a look around. Let's go for the next stand on the left. Now, I don't think there's any stand guidance available as of yet. Whether that's coming, I don't know. But I didn't see it when I was coming on here. I don't think there's any sceneries in Microsoft Flight Simulator utilising stand guidance at the moment. But anyway, we're pulling onto stand. We'll bring it to a stop just before whacking into the air bridge. There we go. A bit hard on the brakes, but so be it. And we'll do the parking flow. There we go. Perfect. See, it looks magnificent. We're going to do a full tour, guys. We're going to have a good look at it here. and talk a little bit about it. All the stand numbers seem to be there, and all the taxiway markings. It's going to be a great addition. We get some proper commercial jet airliners on Microsoft Flight Simulator. There we are. Engines are stopped. We'll let our South African virtual flight engineer finish his flow. I think he's shutting it all down there. He's turning the radios off. There we are, and I've got my little spotlight on. Brilliant. There we are. That was great fun. Really glad we took the DC6 out again. Good fun to take out for a spin. And nice to go over all my notes. We've got us here safely. I'm a bit annoyed I got the autopilot kicked out. That was my fault because I tried to use the turn bug thing with the localizer hold mode, which always kicks the autopilot out. So, whoops. But at the point, it was just easier to hand fly. Very good. Guys, you've not even seen the scenery yet, but I'm going to do the first giveaway so you can see shortly what you are going to win in the next 10 minutes or so when I load up into the Volocopter. But if you would like to win a copy of the scenery, it's very simple. I'm just going to set up Nightbot here in the background for the giveaway. I'm going to ask you to put a keyword in live chat. All you got to do is put that word in. It's case insensitive, so it can be lowercase or uppercase. It doesn't matter. If you are the winner, I need you to get in contact with me via email, social media. Just show me your YouTube homepage with the logout screen just to verify it's you. And once we've got in contact with each other, I'll have to get you to set up a iniBuilds store account if you don't have one already, and iniBuilds will then add the airport scenery to your account for you to download as you wish. So that's all you need to do. I'm just setting up the background giveaway, the giveaway up here in the background at the moment. No, ignore them, guys. Don't put that there. Unbelievable. But I am going to be very boring for the first giveaway because I've not actually thought of a keyword here. Guys, if you'd like to win the giveaway, just type in giveaway in chat. Giveaway in lowercase, uppercase. But please listen carefully. It's the members, ignore them. It's giveaway. Put giveaway in chat. No exclamation mark, just giveaway. Sean Marie, you've got it. Lauren, you've got it. D-Aviation, you've got it. That's it. Just giveaway. Please put it in chat once. If you put it in more than once, you'll have no chance of winning a copy of London Heathrow. I have anti-spam enabled, and that means if you post it more than once, you will not have a chance of winning the giveaway. DC6 is available. I think it's $59. I think it's a very fair price. With the AFE, it's great. You've got the flexibility of just enjoying it as a pilot, you know, flying the airplane. I'm sure everything's modelled with regards to the in-depth simulation with all the systems. So if you want to do all the work of the AFE, you could do that too. But I really enjoy having the AFE, so we could do what's best: fly the airplane. Very good. Don't worry, we're going to have a look at the scenery. Just enjoying drone cam. Jen's note, you don't need to join the tour for the second giveaway, but if you have Microsoft Flight Simulator, please join me. It'll be a bit of fun. We're going to explore the scenery in daytime VMC, see all the features here. I'm going to read a bit of the blurb from iniBuilds as well. Stapler cam, that was drone cam dealing. Excellent. I need my notepad out for the giveaway winners so I know who they are. Right, of course the answer was giveaway. Now I usually ask a question, I'll ask a question for the second one, but if you have put a giveaway chat, you'll have a chance of winning the iniBuilds Heathrow scenery. I'm going to... well, there's a few people still coming in here, so I'll just give it another 30 seconds in case some of you have a little bit of a delayed stream there. Domino Messina, have you got a license to operate a drone over the airport? I don't, but I do actually have my CAA drone license and my operator ID for my DJI Phantom. Other drones are available. Anyway, let's roll it now. So the winner of the first copy of the Heathrow iniBuilds scenery is Shredders 87. Not a member. Ooh, unrigged for a change, eh? Oh, unbelievable. Shreddos 87, if you are still here. Great to let you know, or let us know that you're here. But a big request, Shreddos 87. If you could contact me on social media via Instagram, Twitter or Facebook. If you don't have that, send me an email at flyingdutchman@gmail.com and we'll get that all sorted out for you. So that's Shreddos87. Well, he might be a subscriber. It says unknown. He has his profile set to private. Shreddos is yet to say anything in chat. He is so flabbergasted by the fact he's won the giveaway. Nothing to say at all. Hopefully Shreddos87, you'll get in contact with me. Anyway, this stream is all about exploring the iniBuilds scenery. What I'm going to do is just throw you back to the Be Right Back screen. Join me in the next 5 to 10 minutes in the Microsoft Flight Simulator Volocopter. And I'll be on the threshold of 09 left, and we'll have a nice look at the scenery, see what everything has to be offered by iniBuilds in this very detailed, complex scenery very shortly. Ah, there you are, Shredder87 says, wow, thanks, you're most welcome. Yeah, as I mentioned, contact with me via social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Big request is that on your Google account or your YouTube account, show me the sign out page with your logo there and your address, and then I'll get in contact with you, and we'll get that... also sent out to you, Dealey, the Velociraptor, absolutely. Guys, I will see you all in about 5-10 minutes, guys. Cheers. Thanks for that little intermission, guys. Just nipped off to the toilet and loaded back up into the. I say back up into the Volocopter. I think there might be a lot of Volocopters right on top of me because it was all sort of glitching around a second ago. I can already see a Border Terrier is hovering around at 780 feet here, and the whole idea is just to explore the iniBuilds scenery in a little bit more detail and show you what it all has to offer. So, I've started on the threshold of 09 and left. The reason is because last time I actually was at Heathrow, I flew with British Airways, and at a T5 we parked here and we got a little pod train, which I think they've modelled the railway for, that's all there, into T5, which is there. So we're going to explore it, talk a bit about the scenery, all its features, and this is the perfect contraption to explore. Your batteries will be flat in 2 minutes. Oh, actually, I did charge it up. Well, I think it uses fuel in the menu. Let's have a look here. Fuel, yeah, 98% battery, and I've only just spawned in. Probably will do it, but I think there might be a limit on the server to how many people will be displayed as well. Anyway, let's jump on in. I love this little thing. Just turn up the sim again slightly. It does sound very funny, and turn down the music a smidge too, so you can hear the this thing rev up because it's a bit of a beast. Right, here we go. Oh yes, I am hovering in my Volocopter. Here is Border Terrier coming towards me. I see a number of Volocopters in the distance at 350 feet. So now we're going to go and have a look here. So, a bit about the iniBuilds scenery. There's my blurb here quoting them. It has 80 custom modelled textured points of interests, which we'll hopefully see some of today, and airports both, or a lot of these buildings in and around the airport as well. So here's the T5 car park. It has 10,000 custom modelled cars. Now, I think a lot of what's happened here with regards to performance is that they've really limited. I don't know much about scenery developer, things like that, but they've essentially, to allow there to be sufficient performance, they've heavily optimised it. A lot of optimisation, things like, for example, a lot of people said, oh, the interiors are not modelled. I mean, if they were to interior the model of Heathrow Airport, you'd have about 1 FPS. Now I'm getting 60 FPS right now. I mean, that is thankfully due to my system, but I would expect, you know, Heathrow, one of the most densely packed airports, or a lot of customisation to be running a lot slower, but for me, no issues performance-wise. But here we are over a car park I've actually parked in many times when I fly with British Airways. This is on the northern side of the airport, and I'll go a little bit in this direction. I'm sure a lot of you have flown with B8 and a T5 as well. Airside Ian included, very important. Who's that? Has any included Jerry in his van from Big Jet TV in the horse paddock opposite the end of 27 left. We'll have a look. We're going to be over at 27 left shortly. Who's that in their Volocopter? And we have Izag nearby. Hello to you. And if anyone's here on Microsoft Flight Simulator this evening, just having a nice chill day, we're going to be soon a swarm of drone electric helicopters going to be coming past shortly. There was Hertz and Europe car rentals, exactly where you'd expect them to be as well, as we go over the northern perimeter. We're going to sort of do the perimeter, then go around over the airport as well, just showing you what's around. Yes, we're going past Concorde. We're going to go past the little Emirates aeroplane. I think that's all modelled as well. I think this might be the top speed, about 40 knots. But yeah, look at the cars modelled in this car. Is keeping up. Here's a few more Volocopters. We have Hissing Tie 142, Mr. Kane. Oh, we've got some people. 747 going 250 knots taking off with an A320 that's just vacated. Unbelievable. What's over here? You can see all these custom buildings. There's a Holiday Inn. I've stayed in that Holiday Inn as well. Modelled. Let's go a little bit further along the perimeter fence. D&E, 6 months remember. This is just what we all need today. I think a fun stream of a great community of people. Thanks for everything. Looking forward to the MOGEV. Thank you very much, D&E. We'll see you all on Sunday for that. Thank you very much for your continued support as well, for popping in. We do like a fun stream from time to time. Let's go continue along the northern edge here. So there it is. That's the way into Heathrow. I've been here before, so it's like a... I don't know what the scale is, but that's been there for a long time. Like an Emirates A380 scale model for Heathrow. There you are. Bridge is not... It's got a little bit of a glitch there. But for me, Microsoft Flight Simulator, what's important is how the actual airport, the stands, the taxiways, the ILS, is that all modelled correctly? That, for me, is what's important. The fact that you've got all these additional features, if you really want to go exploring, you can do. But there's the Emirates A380. You drive into Heathrow. And then a tunnel takes you to the main terminals over the airport as well. There we are. This thing is not easy to fly. I've full left on the rudder. Let's go a little bit over the runway so we can explore the details of that. The texturing looks superb. And there's a giant 747 here. Guys, before you said anything, we're not on VATSIM, and nor would I ever say do this sort of behaviour on VATSIM. You will get kicked off the network. But for Microsoft Flight Simulator multiplayer, absolutely no problem at all. Sorry, Sam T98, who's about to do his flight to wherever. I'll get out your way. What's this building here? I've never been to this side of the airport, but Aurora is there. There we are, we've travelled the full length of the runway. How much electricity do I have left? That's my next question. Might have to top it up. Where do I find... Oh, 93%! No, not too bad. Oh, plenty of electricity. There we are. We are not light weather, as you can imagine. So here is the eastern part. Oh, an F-18. That's one way to explore the new scenery. Very good. Just heard Jack in the background. Yes, he was just shaking his head, his collar. Very good. Oh, this is hard. This is not easy to fly. So now, there we are. There's the threshold of 27 right. Cars modelled. And over here is all of British Airways hangars. So that's where they do all of their engineering, all their aircraft, all their checks. Absolutely humongous part of the airport. And I think Concorde's on the other side here, so let's zoom on here. But yeah, you got the idea. Seems very nice. And the performance is very good. And iniBuilds are the sort of people, they're not just going to release it, they're going to keep it updated. So here we have the Garden Inn. What hotel's that? I've been over there before. There's some... It's like me looking at the flight deck to Sim Atlas. Can't work out what terminal I'm in. But there's a... You can see the detail on the building's great. All the posters there. Jow Cargo. Where's my mouse cursor gone? There we go. Look, Jow Cargo. Brilliant. Right, there's the runway we just landed on. Gonna head a little bit over the airport now, then we'll go along the perimeter. ETS2. They do say that the British Airways Concorde has been faithfully recreated. Oh, I'm struggling here with my Volocopter. I kind of want to go in a straight line, not crabbing. Ah, there is the Concorde. I've got full right on my rudder so we can rotate round. Or what about Jay from Big Jet TV? Whereabouts is that filmed? I've heard of it. We're going to go see Concorde first. Ah! Robert Mugabe is here! Looking at the Concorde already. Very nice. She does look pleasant on her F-18. Very cool. Now that Concorde there, obviously it's airside, so I guess you can't actually visit it at all. Very cool though. I have seen it, of course. Just further back from 27 left. Alright, we're gonna try and find the building or the place where Big Jet TV does his filming. Let's go have a look here. There's a testing pad for engine runs. Look. Do the giveaway. The second giveaway for this scenery. Very shortly, guys. So it's around here, is it? I wouldn't even know where I'm looking, guys. Is he sitting on top of one of these buildings or something? It's over here, isn't it? I'm trying to think. I have watched some of his videos, of course. I'm trying to think he's more over there, isn't he? Yeah, look how far the modelling goes for all these buildings. All the way out here, they're modelled as well. Right, let's go head over the main part of the airport. On the right, close to the runway lights. Ah, it's here, isn't it? About here. There's Soggy Head 1. Mr. Kane and Robert Mugabe coming as well. I think it's around here he films it, isn't it? And here on there. There's the lights. Oh, very good. Right, let's go head over the middle of the airport and then we'll explore the southern side. Got plenty of electricity. There's Concorde again. BOAB was never updated and didn't fly again after the grounding. Sadly, the interior is now completely gutted. Oh, that's a shame. Guys, I'm getting hard work flying this. Can't trim it or anything. Just holding the stick constantly. Right, let's go right over the middle of the airport. So this is Terminal 2, I believe. Terminal 4's over there to our left. And all the stand numbers are there modelled. We've got the construction work that's ongoing, I guess. It's Terminal 2, I think. That's cool. Very nice. Ah, here's, so when you get through the bridge, this is the in front of Terminal 1, 2 and 3. No Jerry, absolutely deal breaker for me. Maybe they'll iniBuilds put Jerry there on an update. There's the original terminal. That's so cool. Let's see. Detailing is extraordinary. So who's sponsoring Heathrow now? Is that Turkish Airways? Yeah, I think that's Turkish Airways. Very cool. Get back in here so I can actually control the aircraft. So Terminal 3's next. Terminal 3's in the middle. I remember that one. Terminal 1 and 2 to start with. So a lot of people I saw say, oh, well, the interior is not modelled. But again, don't forget, the FPS would die off. They've had to heavily optimise this to ensure that it all works smoothly. And remember, it's a flight simulator. For me, as I mentioned, what's important is having the airport layout correct, which seems to be spot on. So there's Terminal 2. It's HSBC. And then the main car park. So this is Terminal 3. That's superb. Absolutely beautiful. Very nice. iniBuilds to say, if I can find my blurb. Trying to quote here. I'm not very good at reviewing series, but it's good to see at least. They say all the logos and real-world decals are scattered throughout the airport to promote true-to-life feeling. Customer-created, accurate, and known landside points of interest, such as the landmark Emirates A380 and Turkish Airline roundabout. We have just seen. That's good. What controls do you use for increasing, decreasing power? Just the throttle quadrant. That's all I'm using. Hold on. I've got a little bit. I'm going back the way we came. Very disorientated. I don't know what that was. HSBC, I thought it was Echo Golf Lima Lima. I see what you did there. Unbelievable. Right. Let's head westbound. Towards T5. Now, I haven't been past the tower yet. But look, all the stand numbers are there. Of which there's hundreds in Heathrow. Very nice. It sounds like a giant, large electric lawnmower. Yeah, sort of. Yeah, one of those strippers. It sounds like my stripper. Very good. Let's go past the tower. Very good at crabbing. That's crazy. But iniBuilds said they placed 2,500 lights around here. All the 2,500 lights have been placed around. That's crazy. There's the tower. I think you fly straight through it, so you can't land on it. It's just like 3D. I suppose that helps performance. Very good. Let's head towards T5. Let's shoot a pilot. Can we see night time? Yeah, that's a good point. Let's actually have a look at the night lighting. There we are. For me, the performance seems to improve. There's no, well, there doesn't seem to be any impact there. But let's have a look at the taxi lighting. So you got the green taxiway lights. All the spotlights are illuminated. Check the airport lights as well. Haven't got the taxiway edge lights, or do they might not have them at Heathrow, I don't know. But, I should think they would, the blue edge lighting. Looks quite good. There's stop bars. Have a look and see what it looks like on the runway. There's 09 left, that's where we started. I just want to do a little switcheroo, see what it looks like on approach. This thing has no lights. Stop, I just noticed the bulbs out. Unbelievable. There's all the approach lights onto 09 left. Looks good. Yeah, that looks great. Amazing. Certainly beats the default Heathrow, and I know Heathrow had a bit of attention from Microsoft Flight Simulator, but now having seen this, I can see it's not quite as good as this one, that's for sure. Very good. The Royal Suite, we haven't seen that yet, have we? I'm guessing that's there. Let's go back to daytime, but no, quite impressed with the night lighting. Not sure, I couldn't see the edge lighting for the taxiway, but otherwise it's good. There's Volocopters galore. Random Log 79 and Zaggy looks joining in. Now the Royal Suite, where is that? Here comes Border Terrier and his Airbus. Well, F-18, is it F-18 that looks like a A330? Why does that not come up as an F-18, I wonder? Very good. Now, I have no idea where the Royal Suite is. I have got my airport chart still up here. No, that's for Schiphol. I'll try and find it very quickly. It's quite good to see. So, airport chart. I'm on the Bravo taxiway. Royal Suite is over this way. Well, we'll park outside there. We'll call it a day. Head to the south. I have actually started a stream out of the Royal Suite. We took the Tupolev once. But yeah, what do you guys think of the scenery? I'm pretty impressed, I have to admit. I'm not a scenery developer, scenery expert. I've got the blurb here. Price, guys, is $17.99. iniBuilds don't include tax, so I think, well, in the UK it'll be about 21 quid, £21. If you think about the price point for some other high quality add-ons, I think it's fair. I think there's a lot of airport here as well, and it is an airport they are going to most likely continually develop as well. Here is the Royal Suite. Looks like a little building, maybe it's there's a few changes, but they're not the easiest to get detailed information from. I'm going to park outside it anyway. Try not to crash my Volocopter after I've been flying it so smoothly and successfully. But the stand numbers are perfect. 4, 5... What's that one there? 4, 5, 6, 4, 5, 6. So I haven't seen any out of place stand numbers. Oh, that was not a butter landing. Welcome to Heathrow. That's where we'll park. Sorry, Your Majesty. Let's call it a day then. Very good. Excellent. Very, very nice. Well, that was it for the scenery. I think I've explored most of the features, but it was very kind of iniBuilds to send it over, and I hope you've seen it, perhaps be interested in purchasing it. It's going to be a great add-on for your Microsoft Flight Sim library. Far better than the stock Microsoft Flight Simulator. So if you do a lot of flights here with the PMDG NGX coming out soon, you've already got the fly-by-wire Airbus. You've got lots of opportunities to explore the scenery there. But yeah, it's available for, as I mentioned, the price. I've already got my notes all over the place. $17.99, excluding ATC. So in the UK, it's going to be about 22 quid, which I think is very reasonably priced. Excellent. So, whilst we have F-18 zooming around, oh, there's another Volocopter. See if any more Volocopters will join us here. We'll do the second giveaway. So, second giveaway, same as before. If you are the winner, just get in contact with me via social media, be it Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, or you can email me at flightdecksim@gmail.com. Just need to show me the Google screen with your logout page, and we'll get that all sorted out straight away. Very simply, all you need to do is answer a very simple question and put the answer in chat. Make sure you only put it once. If you put it more than once, you'll have no chance of winning the giveaway. Could you just simply very much tell me the 4-letter ICAO code for Heathrow? As soon as you put that in chat, you'll then automatically enter you into the giveaway, and then you'll have a chance of winning this scenery. Whilst that's going on, I'll jump into the drone cam, and instead of using the Volocopter, I can use the drone to explore the scenery in high speed as well. Oh yeah, this is like a Volocopter on steroids. So is that another BA? Well, it's BA Cargo probably. I think that's the cargo terminal for British Airways. Yeah, very detailed. IAG Cargo course, not British Airways, the IAG group. There's some remote stands here for more cargo traffic. Here's T5. So the home of British Airways. You see, oh, stand numbers. It's supposed to take ages. I believe the jet bridges are all interactive, obviously for the DC6. That is probably not going to be compatible. Look at the leg for that jet bridge. But you can, if you go through it, look, it's just like this, very basic. But remember, it's if they were to model the interior of that in high detail, it's going to use light, or you're going to lose all your performance when you're taxiing around. So you might find at some smaller airports. I remember we had the Okavango Delta. They had very detailed interior cabins. Fine, it's only a small cabin. Here's a massive international airport covering 12 square miles. So it'd be very difficult to model that one in detail. Very good. Where did we park? Oh, Border Terrier's in his F-18. Oh, should become a professional drone pilot. But the FPS is very friendly. 60 FPS to Flying Life, which is still running in the background. There we are, over to Volocopter Central. How do I actually turn the engines off on this? I'm not so sure. Not that button. I think you just simply, literally push every button, don't you? Oh, I don't know. Many buttons. EPU, ESU, OPD, who knows? Right, oh look, I have actually lost some of my rotors. What happens if I take off now? No problem. Even though I'm 4 engines down. Bang. Of course, the ICAO code is Echo Golf Lima Lima for London Heathrow. Let's roll it and see who the second giveaway of this scenery is. Their winner is Bert Fella. Completely unrigged, but he is a member of the channel. That is completely unrigged. Remember, there's no member benefit. You can have option, but I never do it. No benefit for me doing it. But well done, Bert Fella. You are the winner. That's just come up there. Congratulations, you've got a copy of Heathrow for Microsoft Flight Simulator coming your way. As I mentioned, you can contact me via social media, email, or Discord in your case if it's easiest, and we'll get that all sorted out with you. If you don't have an iniBuilds store account, make sure you get that set up, and iniBuilds will get that added to your account as soon as possible. Yeah, hashtag rigged, yeah, any more, keep coming, unbelievable. Unbelievable. Oh, the noises of all the jets flying around. Who predicted that. I'll at least turn it down there. Awesome, so that's it for today, guys. I have to say a massive thank you to iniBuilds for sending me a copy of their scenery. I'm very impressed with it. I'm no scenery expert, but if you look at all the video reviews, their video description of it as well on the iniBuilds website, talking about all the features and how it's optimized, you'll be able to get that for you yourself. As I said, very reasonably priced, $17.99. By the time you added your VAT, it's about 20 quid. So for one of the most complex airports of the world. Very impressed with how it looks with the textures, and no doubt we'll be departing Heathrow in Microsoft Flight Simulator at this airport at some point in the future. Who knows when? Maybe years, but we'll definitely come back to it at some point, when, especially when the PMDG 737 comes out. Awesome stuff, guys. Well, thank you very much for popping in. Thank you to those that donated for your generosity. Thank you very much to all my members for your continued support, and to all the regular subscribers and viewers. Thanks a lot for coming in. Stay safe out there. Very incredible times at the moment, of course, and I'll be next live this Saturday at 5 PM. We're doing the Flight Factor group flight. Well, I'll also be giving away another copy on behalf of Flight Factor of a product from any product of Flight Factors on behalf of them. So I'll be posting that stream this evening before I go to bed, and as usual, find all the details on the video description when that's published. Guys, stay safe, and I'll see you all soon.